Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
On today's podcast, we're joined by someone who really needs no introduction, Ron Howard. Now, you know him from the Andy Griffith Show, Happy Days, and, of course, his incredible directing career with films like Apollo 16 and A Beautiful Mind. But today, we're talking about a project that's especially meaningful during Disability Awareness Month. His 1980 film Skyward, which can be watched on YouTube, is the story of a young woman in a wheelchair who refuses to let her disability stop her from pursuing her dream of flying. The film is uplifting, inspiring, and still resonates today. Ron tells about a co-worker who helped him make the film and some of his thoughts on the movie industry.
Bob Berry.
Hi, this is Ron Howard.
Hello, Ron. How are you this morning?
Fine, you?
Good. Well, we're all looking forward to tomorrow night.
Me too. Boy, I can't wait for that. We've been working on it for about a year and a half, so it's always sort of exciting when you get right down to the wire.
Is that right? You've been working on it for a year and a half, huh?
Well, Anson came up with the idea and told it to me just a little over a year and a half ago, and I thought it was a terrific story. And immediately we took it into the network, and we were able to get it into development, which means that they hire a writer.
You had kind of an unusual experience in meeting Betty Davis for the filming of this Skyward, right? Introducing yourself to Betty Davis?
Well, when I first introduced myself, it was over the telephone. We were talking about the script and some changes that she would like to see made, and she kept calling me Mr. Howard. And I knew that she knew how old I was, so I thought that was a little strange that she insisted on referring to me as Mr. Howard. Finally, I asked her, Miss Davis, would you just please call me Ron? She said, no, I'll call you Mr. Howard until I decide whether I like you or not. Well, so I was a little bit apprehensive after that conversation, and I didn't see her again until we started working, and she kept calling me Mr. Howard all day long. She was nice. She did everything that I asked her to do. She even seemed to really appreciate the direction that I gave her, but she kept calling me Mr. Howard. Finally, when the day was over, I said, well, thank you, Miss Davis, you're finished for today, and you can go on back to the hotel now. And she hopped out of the airplane and down to the ground and said, okay, Ron, see you in the morning, and gave me a little pat on the rump.
The last time we talked, it was shortly after you got married. Is Cheryl becoming any more active in films? Or?
She's not an actress and not interested in being an actress, but she always makes a little appearance in anything that I direct. And she makes a little appearance in Skyward.
Oh, is that right? We'll have to watch for her. What part will she be playing?
Well, there's a scene when Susie has gone to public school for the first day. She's always been in private school for the disabled, you know. And she's in this small town in Texas where her father's been moved, and she has to go to public school, and she's really having a difficult time. And she goes in to the restroom, and she can't get her wheelchair, her big electric wheelchair, into the stall. They don't have the proper facilities. And there are a couple of girls stuck in the bathroom with her who are sort of smirking out of embarrassment, you know, seeing this girl desperately trying to get into this bathroom stall. And the redheaded one on the right is Cheryl.
Okay. Now, do you and Anson appear in the film at all?
No, we don't. Well, Anson is way off in the distance there, but I don't think anybody had ever recognized him. But he became involved in gliding on the film. He had always been afraid of flying. There's a lot of flying in this picture, a lot of beautiful aerial stuff and nice music. And as a result of the gliding in this picture, Anson took a flight, loved it, started taking lessons, and before the picture was over, he soloed, and he's no longer afraid of flying.
Are you always going to stick with this kind of a film? I mean, there are so many R-rated films out nowadays in the movie theaters that it's hard to take children to a movie nowadays, as you probably know. Are you going to try to stay with this type of a film?
Well, I tell you, I more or less let the story dictate. I'm a firm believer that in this country that there are certain kinds of pictures which ought to be R-rated pictures, and then the parents ought to say, look, kids, this is too mature for you to go to. It's too much violence, too much rough language, too much nudity, whatever it is, you're not going, and then they ought to really control that. But I really defend filmmakers' rights to make R-rated pictures. Now, I don't have any pictures in the works right now that would probably be R-rated, but I can't say that I wouldn't ever make one, because if the right story came along and I needed to use rough language and violence or nudity in order to tell the story as it needs to be told, I wouldn't hesitate to do that. But at this moment, I don't have anything in the works like that.
Oh, they're all going to say, oh, little Richie Cunningham doing something like that?
They might, but again, that's all part of that growing process, and you've got to take risks. You can't worry about pleasing everybody all the time. But what people need to know is that I like to make entertaining movies, and if I use violence, if I use nudity in a movie, it'll be because I have a point that I'm really trying to make. It won't be an exploitation kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I will hope to do it with the utmost taste.
Well, very good. We'll be watching for Skyward tonight, Ron. Thank you very much.
WOKY, Bob Berry, 1992.
Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all our episodes at WisconsinBroadcastersMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Donate Life Wisconsin. Special thanks to Wisconsin Historical Society and for financial support from WBA Hall of Famer Terry Bond.